Hello everyone, welcome back to Land of the Mammals on the Alex the Explainer YouTube channel. We'll cover the events that followed the Eocene and beyond. At the beginning of the Oligocene epoch, after the Eocene epoch, the world was not much different. Europe was still mostly a bunch of islands, and there was still some evidence of rainforests. However, that would soon disappear, as grasslands would open up in North America and deserts would open up in Asia. The climate was about to get a lot drier and cooler. Many strange creatures evolved in order to adapt to these new changes, such as Paraceratherium, a large giraffe-like mammal, and the entelodonts, strange pig-like creatures that were the ancestors to hippos, and also calicotheres, weird-looking mammals that were related to horses. The gradual cooling and drying of the Earth's climate worsened as the Miocene epoch began. The entelodonts adapted to these new changes by getting a lot larger, such as the massive Daedon. Much like Paraceratherium, they can go weeks without food, which is great when food was scarce in an open desert world. However, entelodonts like Daedon, when extinct, they were unfortunately outcompeted by mammals from North America, like the bear dog, Amphicyon. However, Amphicyon was also outcompeted into extinction by other mammals as well, mammals belonging to the group Carnivora, which includes bears, wolves, and other creatures like them. Whales were also evolving during the Miocene, and whales that were able to use baleen evolved, and some were able to get quite large. This left a pretty big ecological niche open for an apex predator that would feed on these large whales, and soon a massive predator would evolve, Otodus megalodon, the largest shark ever. However, Megalodon unfortunately went extinct as the world got even cooler. This was around the same time when Australia separated from Antarctica. As they separated, Antarctica drifted even further south, becoming a cold wasteland. Most of the mammals we've been discussing so far have been placental mammals, a very advanced, very successful group of mammals. Marsupials, a much smaller, more primitive group of mammals, still clinged on in areas like South America, Antarctica, and Australia. As the next epoch, the Pliocene epoch, began, volcanic activity between North America and South America formed the Isthmus of Panama, joining the two continents together. This allowed the Great American Interchange event to happen, allowing mammals from South America, like the glyptodont, and even birds like the South American terror birds, to migrate into North America, and also allowed North American mammals, like Smilodon, to migrate into South America. The story of the mammals is not over yet. There is still more to go, especially in the next epoch after the Pliocene epoch, the Pleistocene epoch, the greatest time in the age of mammals. Ever since their heyday in the Eocene, proboscideans have been evolving ever since. The hippo-like Monotherium went extinct as the world got cooler and drier after the Eocene, and new forms like the Dinotheres and the Gomphotheres evolved to feed on dry vegetation. The Dinotheres had shin tusks so they could strip bark, and the Gomphotheres had 4 tusks, and they were very strange shovel-like tusks to shovel up dry vegetation, but they were originally believed to shovel up wet vegetation. The Gomphotheres had relatives. These Gomphothere relatives had a lot longer upper tusks, but more vestigial lower tusks, such as the American mastodon. A new group of mammals eventually evolved, the elephantids, such as the elephants, the mammoths, even an elephant called Paleoloxodon, the largest land mammal ever. Mammoths and elephants first evolved in Africa, much like humans. Humans started out as small primates, like Copolestes and Plesiodapis. However, as the world got drier, these creatures evolved to walk upright, such as the Australopithecines. Eventually, they evolved to hunt, in a new form of hunting called persistence hunting. They ran very slow, however, they didn't get tired very easily, so they were able to chase down their prey and tire them out. These forms of hunting, as well as also gathering, allowed humans to grow bigger brains, and a new genus arrived, Homo, the true humans. Modern humans eventually evolved, and they were able to spread across the globe. However, Neanderthals also evolved, a more primitive type of human that took over Europe, but they were outcompeted by the humans, who also migrated to Europe when the Ice Age came, the main focal point of the Pleistocene epoch. This is when animals supersized into types of creatures called megafauna. In Australia, giant marsupials roamed. In Madagascar, giant birds and giant lemurs lived. In Africa, ancient relatives of the giraffe lived. In Asia, a gigantic ape lived, called Gigantopithecus, a relative of the orangutan. As glaciers up north marched south, they took a lot of ocean water with them. The sea level dropped, and the Indonesian islands became a single landmass. In the Americas, big armadillos, big bears, lions, other big cats, huge mammoths, big bison, giant ground sloths lived. It was truly an incredible place to be with lots of wildlife. The North American Smilodon fatalis was able to pin a massive bison down and slit its jugular vein with its long sabered teeth, killing it almost instantly. The massive bear, Arctodus, was huge, able to eat whatever animal was there. And the massive Columbian mammoth was even larger, but less hairier than its woolly counterpart. Eurasia was the most famous part of the Ice Age world. Where Britain and Ireland will once be is now a massive landmass called Doggerland that was connected to mainland Europe, and Europe was part of the massive Mammoth Steppe, a massive land of grasslands and flowers stretching from Europe all the way through Asia, through the Bering Land Bridge, into the most northern parts of North America, in which mammoths, like the steppe mammoth and the woolly mammoth, lived, feasting on grasses. However, the mastodons in North America had a lot more bumpier teeth, feasting on bark and branches. A distant relative of Smilodon, Homotherium, was another type of saber-toothed cat. It was a pack hunter, able to bring down a woolly mammoth. The scimitar-toothed cat spread throughout the Mammoth Steppe. Other creatures also lived in the Mammoth Steppe, such as the woolly rhino and the Irish elk. But eventually, these creatures began to die off, mostly due to climate change, human hunting, and even disease. Sure, there is the occasional moose and large bison, a lot of the megabeasts went extinct. Humans had began to rule the earth. Their large brains allowed them to be extremely technologically advanced and rule the planet. Truly an incredible species of mammals. However, other mammals today in the Holocene epoch are also incredible, like the African elephant, the giraffe, moose, elk, bison, and many others. Although many animals have gone extinct over the course of the Cenozoic era, the land of the mammals will not be over soon. And that concludes the land of the mammals. So guys, goodbye guys, and we'll see you there on another episode of Alex the Explainer.